Hello, my name is Lauren Schwind, and this is part 2 of the tutorial that I'm doing for a technique that I kind of found. So, what I'm going to be talking about in this video is more about glues. And some of the glues that I've been using are this glazing medium. It's a really nice one, and I've been using a lot of this one lately. Also, perfect paper adhesive with gloss is another really good one. And one of my favorite is this triple thick brilliant brush on gloss glaze. This one really sticks. This one's probably one of the best that I've found, and it's by Americana or whatever. Another good cheap one, because I mix and match just glues and whatever to just see what happens, because this technique is all about just experimenting and really letting go of just being nitpicky, and it's more about process. It's more about releasing what's going to happen and just playing with what does happen, because especially with this series being on the chakras, it's more of a spiritual kind of work that you're doing. So play with your materials, really mess around with the technique and see what weird things happen, because that's half the fun right there. And there's also one that I've been using a lot, which really sticks and really keeps the transparency, is washable clear school glue. And I mean, it's Elmer's. It's 99 cents for something like this, and it's really fun to mix it. It does get a little tacky really quick. It comes out pretty tacky, and once it's down, you gotta work quick. A lot of these are work quickly, or you're going to be left with a lot of sticky mess. Another good one is this polymer medium with gloss. You'll notice a lot of the things I'm using are gloss, and that is because I've used a lot of matte mediums and satin mediums in the past, and just found that the gloss gives you much better transparency, because as you're working in layers and you're working with the wax paper, the gloss is not going to get as white when you start layering it, because it will become more opaque. And a lot of this has to do with keeping your transparency. So when you're picking out glues that you want to use, I would say use more gloss. Use lots of gloss, which is why I use this one and not just the white Elmer's glue. One, this is clear, and that's great. But the white Elmer's glue really, it just gets messy real quick. It's not as much fun. Gloss gel is another good one if your layers start to get really thick and start to resist the glue. Gloss gel, but keep it pretty thin. Mix this a lot if you're going to use it. And another one is light modeling paste. That's gel. Really, I would say use this very sparingly, and almost not at all. I barely use this one because it becomes so messy. Also, Mod Podge gloss is another good one. Polyacrylic is another good one, as long as you're not dipping your brush too much in water. If you're going to use water-based glues that are going to start to, thank you phone, to kind of, if you're layering with a lot of water, which sometimes you can do if you're using mediums that aren't going to be, they're going to be water resistant. You can use more water when mixing them. But the problem with that is you need to make sure they're water resistant. So polyacrylic, if you're going to use it, don't use a lot of water with it. And if you're going to be using Mod Podge, also don't use a lot of water. And because you're going to have to dip your brush in water to make sure it doesn't begin sticking and becoming just a hard mess of bristles that become too stiff. If you're going to use water-based glue, just make sure that you re-dip and then squeeze out the most of the water that you can within a paper towel or something. Because with this technique, a lot of water is going to start to bring up the glue and layers below. So to keep that from happening, just reduce the amount of water that you use. I used to use a lot of water in the past, but that was when I was using a lot of this, and right now I'm almost out of this. I need to go get more. But this stuff works amazing. I was really surprised. I just got this little thing was only 99 cents. And so when I got it, I wasn't really expecting much result, but really good result. And also perfect paper adhesive. Really good result also. So those are some of my really recommended glues for this kind of, what's it called? Technique. So when applying paper or anything else to your wax paper, and I'll explain this more in a bit, you make sure you get some good glue and make sure it's not matte, because I found a lot of matte mediums that just becomes very foggy, and what you want is a lot of good transparency, so you'll get that with your gloss mediums. And I will explain further in the next video. Thank you.